going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Mcdc, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Dew Crew? This is Ball Hawk, Ifata Melafonum of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining me here today, Lions Talk Live. Hey, it is a Monday. It is a morning show edition, and you know what? My voice is a little shot. The Red Wolves had a game last night. We had a big game against the number one team in the state. You know what? The Red Wolves found a way to overcome a deficit to come back and get a historic win. And yes, I used my voice a little bit during that game. So I'm going to have to power through this show today. Hopefully you guys can help me out with that. And we'll go from there, I guess. So anyways, as you can tell from today's thumbnail, I think the Detroit Lions and MCDC himself are under a little bit of pressure this week. What do you do to try to keep the team resting, healthy, but also not getting rusty? So that's going to be what we talk about during the main top of the day. We'll also have some news and information about a couple of players that potentially could come back from injury, maybe not from injury, all that kind of stuff. We'll get into that. Plus, we get the 5 headlines now. But real quick, before we get into any of that, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 31 subs away from hitting 12,700. So if you can help out with that, that would be great. Also, if you have a free second of time, it costs you nothing at all other than just reaching on down to hit that thumbs up or like button. We try to get every video between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. As you probably are very aware, every like, share, subscribe or subscription, whatever you want to say, all that stuff helps out YouTube algorithms quite a bit. So if you can reach down, hit those, that would be most welcome. Last but not least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan or the continental United States, give me a call or shoot me a text. You now see my phone number on your screen, 269-998-2384. We can have a quick conversation. Give me a call, shoot me a text. We'll see what we can do to save you some money, make the process easier for buying either vacant land, commercial property, a new house, selling your house. I mean, whatever it is, we'll talk about it and get you handled right as rain. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get this show moving and going. And again, guys, apologize about my voice. It is a little roughed up after last night's game, but you know what? I'll take it, baby. All right, let's get this going with 5 glorious headlines now. All right, 5 headlines now coming at you. Terrion Arnold injury update. Detroit Lions cornerback is, quote, day to day. Aren't we all in life? After a foot scare, story by Andrew Burkell of the Detroit Free Press. So it sounds like he has a foot contusion. The full extent of it wasn't revealed by MCDC. But you have had some, I guess you could say, football insiders, Adam Scheffler, etc., put it out there that they do think he's going to be able to go for the first playoff game. My anticipation is if it's anything roughly towards what the national media is reporting, he's probably going to be pretty dang sore this week. But probably by Sunday, Monday, he'll be a lot less sore. And then obviously they'll work him into things throughout next week. It sounds like, according to MCDC himself at the presser, the Lions are actually going to do some practicing this week. I thought they would give him until Friday or Saturday off, just let him fully rest, regalvanize, re-energize themselves. But he sounds like they're going to actually keep guys in the Detroit area, keep them in the facilities and taking things light on them. But come Thursday, they're going to start doing some, breakdowns of stuff and nothing towards individual teams, but they're going to start working on some stuff that they want to clean up with their offense, defense, special teams, etc. He also mentioned that on Friday, and he had to catch himself here, that they were going to do some hitting, put the pads on, and I think he caught himself because he has to be careful. You're only allotted, as I'm sure you guys all know, so many days throughout the season where you can do actual hitting, etc. So MCD's caught himself and basically said, let me rephrase that. So they're going to get after it, I guess is what you can say, in one shape or form on Friday. Whether or not they'll put the pads on actually hitting, I don't know. But then it sounds like Saturday and Sunday are going to kind of be a little bit more relaxation days where they'll come in, watch some stuff, film study, etc. And then, yes, we had speculated that Sunday, the vast majority of the Lions would be in the training facilities, practice facilities, etc., watching the games, trying to gauge who they're going to be playing, taking notes, etc. And that does sound like what MCDC mentioned yesterday. In regards to Arnold, my anticipation is he's going to be fully good to go by the time we hit the playoffs. Doesn't mean he won't have some soreness in it, but I'm sure, like we all know, if you're a football player and you get to this point in the season, everybody's sore. Everybody's got something. Arnold probably will be pretty good, especially considering his age. He'll heal up pretty quick. All right. How Lions, Dan Campbell, are handling the rest versus rust this bye week. The New York Times. And again, as you guys know, if you watch this show at all, anytime we get the New York Times or somebody like that on here, we're going to do it. And they do a pretty decent breakdown, analyzing what MCDC said in the press conference yesterday and also what their anticipations are this week for the team. I do think they probably got yesterday off. I do think they'll get today off. They don't listen to me, though, so we'll have to fully wait and see. But the Times, if you get some free time this week, today or tomorrow, check this story out. They actually do a real good breakdown of what they think all the different stuff the Lions and MCDC is going to do this week to try to have the team ready come next week. All right, who is Ben Johnson? Why NFL teams are swarming Detroit Lions offensive coordinator mastermind. Story by Jared Ramsey, the Detroit Free Press. Man, I'm going to be honest. Anybody watching the show knows exactly who Ben Johnson is. He knows we all know who Aaron Glenn is. And yes, we are all probably definitely aware that both guys are in high demand across the NFL. I think if Vegas were to put out betting odds, and who knows, maybe there are betting odds out there, I do think you're going to see both guys get significant offers. Now, the question I think both guys are going to face is that the team you want to take over. The worry I have as a coach and somebody who's coached for a while is Ben Johnson still fairly young where he could continue, if he wanted to turn down head coaching offers and wait for the next round, wait for a better situation, although I think he's going to get some pretty good ones this year. My worry for Aaron Glenn is he's starting to butt up on that age where, I hate saying it, a lot of teams, both collegiately and professionally, if he doesn't take a head coaching job this go around, he's going to start facing father time. And again, I don't think it's right, but it is reality in life. He'll start facing some stuff where potentially teams will start avoiding him to go towards younger opportunities in coaching. So we'll see what they do, but I hope for both guys they get their opportunities. In regards to the story, if you want to check it out, I mean, I'm going to guess 99% of Lions fans understand who Ben Johnson is and why teams want him, but they do give a lot of good inside information as far as, the depth to what he's gone through in his coaching career to elevate himself to this point. All right, as we probably are all definitely aware, all roads to Super Bowl now go through Detroit, the Detroit Lions. Story by Vito Cerritro of SI.com. And we all get it, man. The Lions are, the Lions are awesome. The Lions are getting it done. The Lions, they don't have to leave Ford Field if they don't want to. And yes, I'm messing with some stuff up there to try to fix some stuff, but sorry about that, guys. What we can say is, hey, the Detroit Lions have a massive home field advantage. You get it. I get it. Any opposing team that comes in here is going to get it. We saw that on display, against the Minnesota Vikings. We speculated that Aaron Glenn, leading into that game, was going to use the crowd noise to his advantage, and I thought that's exactly what you saw on the field. I don't anticipate that's going to change in any of the upcoming home playoff games. What am I anticipating? Aaron Glenn, I thought, did a real good job, especially once teams got into the red zone or once the Minnesota Vikings got into the red zone, showing you one look when they break the huddle, and then as soon as you got to the line, shifting it. And especially on some of those ones where they were like 5 yards out, 3 yards out, you look at Sam Darnold, and he is outright confused what the lines are in. He's uncertain. I talk a lot as a coach. You guys have heard it, and I'm sure anybody who's played sports gets it. If you can cause somebody to hesitate for a quarter second, let alone a half second or more, you have a massive advantage. Part of the reason I thought the Lions pass rush looked so great is, one, they blitzed, yes, but two, they forced Darnold, the Lions forced Darnold into holding that ball a little bit longer, which allowed that front four to get there, which also meant Darnold was never 100% sure what defense he was seeing. The Lions, we all get it. Lead the league, lead the world or whatever, and play in person defense, man-to-man defense. But then you saw a lot of different opportunities there where they showed man, and as soon as Darnold went to the line, they now switched. The clock is getting low. The play clock is getting low, so he doesn't really have time to make further adjustments. He's got to snap it under pressure, battling that clock, which the closer you get to the red zone, it's right in your face. You can see it as a quarterback. And now, that causes the hesitation. I think Aaron Glenn is going to continue to use that to the Lions' advantage, and a good coach would, right, throughout the playoffs, and I think that's going to lead to a lot of good opportunities for the Detroit Lions. All right, Aiden Hutchinson, injury update. Dan Campbell shares latest news on Detroit Lions star. Dave Burkett, Detroit Free Press, with this one. So I couldn't tell you which reporter it was yesterday, but somebody did just come out and ask Dan Campbell during the presser, hey, what's going on? Do you see Derek Barnes returning? Do you see Carlton Davis returning? Do you see Aiden Hutchinson or anybody else returning? And, MCDC's, I think, just gotten to the point where he doesn't want to talk about that stuff. Get it. He's been hearing it for months now. Here's what I can say. I'm not 100% sure if MCDC was being fully honest with us. Now, maybe at the end of the day he is. Maybe none of them return. I don't know. But what I do think was kind of an eyebrow raise based on those responses is you've had so many reports from, I think Adam Schefter is pretty good with things. I think he's pretty on top of stuff. Eric Woodyard from ESPN, I think since he's the Detroit beat reporter, he's also probably got a pretty good idea with things. Carlton Davis might not return. And I know we've talked about it on this show for a month now. If he did actually come back, he would probably have to come off the bench. And just because I think, one, Amik Robinson's playing so dang well. The other part is, unfortunately for CD3, he's had over a month where he's only eating food through, a straw or a tube. So whenever we see him on TV, he's going to probably look like he's really slimmed down, like he's probably from the Walking Dead cast or something like that. Because, be honest, he hasn't had any solid food for a month and a half or however long it's been when he returns. So I get why perhaps he won't return. What I do also kind of have an eyebrow raise with is Derek Barnes. I mean, let's not forget, just about a month ago, Derek Barnes said, he thought he was pretty dang close, wanted to come back for the Super Bowl. Then you had Ian Rappaport saying that he had information saying that he thought Derek Barnes could come back for the Super Bowl. Then you've had information about Hutchinson, and I think we all get it. I don't know if any of these guys are really going to return. The one thing, if you did miss it with Aiden Hutchinson, is when flat out asked about Hutchinson, MCDC did come out and say, hey, to me, that's a season, and I'm paraphrasing here, so it's not a direct quote. That's a season-ending injury, but if anybody could return from that type of injury, it would be Aiden Hutchinson. So we'll have to wait and see if, in the NFC title game, if any of these guys return. If they do, great. If not, you're moving on to the next guy. Nothing's changed in the last 2 months from all those injuries. David Montgomery is the one he did say he's fully anticipating is going to return for the first playoff game. He's going to give it a go, is what he said. Now, how good David Montgomery is going to be, that's going to be the big question. Is he really David Montgomery, D-Money, that we've seen last year and this year? The only way to find out is when he gets on the field and starts hitting people. But that dude, I think, is going to do everything he can, just how he is wired. He wants to play. And I think if you're the Lions, you're still probably featuring Gibbs. But can I now give 30% of the snaps, 35% of the snaps to David Montgomery? I think that's probably would be my goal for him. I don't think you're going to be able to do 50%. Because you got to be fair to the player, too. That is a heck of an injury. He is going to overcome it. But putting him out there and asking him to do what he did before the injury, who knows? Maybe it really is healed up that well. All right, Duke Crew, that's it for the 5 headlines now. So again, sorry that I'm maybe not 100% today, but, man, I'm going on like 3 hours sleep. I had to get a lot of stuff done after the game, and then, yes, my voice is shot. So let's real quick get over to the main topic of the day. All right, main topic of the day. Somebody cue up Under Pressure, or what? I can't remember who actually sings that song, but why is MCDC now feeling under pressure? The season's over. Anybody who's coached or plays sports or whatever, or just been a fan of this team, they get it. There's probably a 48-hour, 72-hour window where, the Detroit Lions, MCDC, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, whoever, your mom up in the stands, we all took a deep sigh of relief and just let out all the stress from what we went into that game Sunday night with. And then, of course, with about 3-4 minutes left in the game, we could probably all breathe a little less aggressively just because we could see the Lions were going to win. So now you've had Monday, Tuesday, and today off where you can just kind of relax. But you know what happens real quick? You start looking ahead. What do I have to do to analyze this, that, and the other thing? The regular season's now over. It's all about the postseason. And right, wrong, or indifferent, the Lions are going to be judged on whether or not they can get to the Super Bowl. Now, if they win it, I'd say everybody watching this show, anybody watching it live or in the future is going to say, hey, man, this was a great season. But let me ask you, is the expectation for a great season now Super Bowl win, or this was a tragic season? It was a wasted opportunity. That's where I think MCDC and the coaching staff, the players, are now under pressure. They're going to have, as we already know, all the games at home at Ford Field. They're going to be home throughout the playoffs. If they go out and should happen to lose a game, whether it be in the Super Bowl, whenever, how do we feel differently about this team? It's part of the pressure of being the big dog. We all get it. You got to win. You got to keep going forward. You got to keep finding a way to go forward. This isn't last year's team or 2 seasons ago, or, man, if we just made the playoffs 2 seasons ago, 99% of the Lions fans would have been jumping up and down saying, man, this is great. We were in the playoffs. Hey, we lost, but you know what? Hey, the franchise has turned around. The expectations for this team are completely different now. It really is that of a Super Bowl contending team. We need to go out there and find a way. If we don't get Carlton Davis back, or if we don't get Derek Barnes back, or Hutchinson back, or whoever else back, can we keep replicating what we just did defensively for the next team? Then, and then obviously one after that to get us to the Super Bowl. You win these next 2 games, you probably don't have to buy yourself a dinner in Detroit anytime soon, because you would be the coaching staff that got this franchise to the Super Bowl. If you go out and win the dang thing, though, that's where I think things get interesting. Maybe the governor of Michigan will say, hey, no Lions player or coach will ever have to pay homestead taxes again, or something like that. This is a great opportunity for the Detroit Lions. This is a great opportunity for MCDC and the coaching staff, the players. But it's also one that's going to put more and more pressure on them, because the margin for error in any game, usually between 2 even teams, is pretty small. As we all also get in the playoffs, it becomes incredibly small. It will probably more than likely just be one play here, one play there that will determine the outcome of the game. Hate to say it, but that's the life of teams. As you get in the playoffs, there's less and less teams around, which means the teams around are pretty dang good. They're going to get better and better. I know some people are going to ask this week, and we'll probably need to talk about it in tomorrow's show, who's the best matchup for the Detroit Lions? Let me ask you guys in the Do Crew comments. Who do you think? Right now, I don't know if there's a glaringly obvious choice. Some people mentioned yesterday, Washington Commanders. Okay, the nice part is we haven't faced them. It wouldn't be somebody we've seen, because let's be honest, with Stafford and the Rams, we've seen them. We've seen them a lot. We've seen the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a lot. Green Bay Packers, okay, I get it. They're in division. Same with Minnesota Vikings. You see them all the time. So I get, as fans, we want somebody different, because you know what? That anxiety. Coaches are no different. The players are no different. They get it that, hey, both teams know each other. It's harder to find, things you can catch people off guard with, because they are just so familiar with each other. So, let's talk about it right now. Washington Commanders, do you think they would be the best matchup? I don't know. Jaden Daniels, he's a mobile quarterback. The only nice thing about him is he's a rookie quarterback. Should still be able to confuse him a little bit. Green Bay Packers a little bit beat up, but again, Jordan Love is so streaky. There are moments he looks like a bust out there. There's other moments he looks like he should be already wearing the gold jacket and in the Hall of Fame. Yes, they've got some injuries on the offense and defense, but you know what? Who doesn't in the NFL right now? And just because the backup is in doesn't mean it's a automatic win for you. We've got backups in, and they're making us look pretty dang good. Sometimes it just comes down to somebody getting an opportunity for them to really shine. Philadelphia Eagles, I ain't even worry about that, because we're not going to face them. At the worst we could face them is in the NFC title game. And I don't know. They've got I didn't see yesterday's report just because I was busy. But their quarterback, is he still banged up? I think he's still in concussion protocol. So, they've got some situations going on. So, All right, Duke Crew, I've rambled enough about this. What do you think is the biggest thing the coaching staff has to address this week? Let me ask you, what do you think is the number one thing they need to take care of this week? Is it rest? Is it, game film, cleaning up the D, getting the next guy ready to go at, linebacker, cornerback, defensive end? There's a lot of good stuff to work on this week. And if you're the Detroit Lions coach, the nice thing about this week is you can just work on techniques, trying to continually improve the players, especially some of those younger players. My biggest worry right now is if Arnold is slowed down and Carlton Davis cannot return, which according to MCDC, he's not going to be returning. Who's the next guy up for you? Emmanuel Mosley, before anybody asks, I don't think he's playing again this year. I hope I'm wrong, but from what I know of the situation, I think he's doing the right thing, stepping down or removing himself from the team for a little bit. So focusing on him and his family. So let's take him off the table unless we hear something else from MCDC and the Detroit Lions that he could return. Now, I know how much everybody loves Kendall Vildor, but if he goes in, he's clearly being told by the coaching staff to all of us that he's the next best player. Rakestraw was one person that MCDC did say yesterday he thought he was pretty close to returning. That's one heck of a hamstring injury because he's been out of the lineup for over a month now, month and a half, something like that. Everybody heals differently, and maybe it was more severe than we were led to believe, but hopefully getting him back would help. The one question I do have with Rakestraw is he's a rookie. He's a rookie cornerback in the NFL. And now you're going up against the creme a la creme in the playoffs. I mean, all the weak teams, all the weak receivers probably aren't playing in the playoffs. Not when we play in the playoffs, and then obviously in the NFC Championship game. Is he someone you really want to rely on a ton in the playoffs? I don't know. Maybe he's doing better than we anticipate. All right, Duke Crew, sorry about my voice. Sorry about maybe being a little tired today, but I'm trying to power through it. Hopefully you guys can help me with it. And let's get to the Duke Crew right now. Michael D, greetings, salutations, coach, and Duke Crew, exclamation points, Superdome, Super Bowl, one pride, woo, woo, and back at you, my friend, as always. You got a new thumbnail picture? I think you do. Let's see, Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan, and Duke Crew, same to you, my friend. Bo Booth, good morning, Duke Crew, I see Super Bowl, woo, and I concur as always. Bo, watching Anzalone, okay. Stephanie, good morning, boys, exclamation point. Dan Campbell didn't sound so optimistic about Hutch returning. Do you think he will, or is he out? I really think it's a flip of the coin. I mean, to me, he looks pretty dang close, but that's just him standing on the sideline, kind of walking around and stuff like that. I don't really know what he's going to look like when he puts pads on and hits. That's where I'm going to leave it to the medical staff to fully divest that. Bo, St. Brown podcast, crazy laugh with Thor has. Okay, I'll have to check it out. You sound very Yoda with that. Yoda-like, I should say. France, I'm so glad we have this week off to heal up. 100%, man, 100%. Bo Booth, Anzalone made a massive impact for the D. You're not wrong. And now you're giving him another half month to rest up, kind of shake off the rust, get back to speed on things. I'm suspecting that Anzalone is going to do pretty well here in the playoffs in the Detroit Lions defense. Getting him back and Iffy back were big wins for the Detroit Lions. Both of them are making big dividends. Last week against Minnesota Vikings, you saw the Lions use, or Aaron Glenn, or whoever you want to give credit to, a ton of stunts, pulls, drags on the defensive line to try to free up guys. So Lions got pressure, probably one of the better post-Aiden Hutchinson games they have all season. And not just with blitzing, but with their four-man fronts. A lot of that is Aaron Glenn seemed to, now, you have to see how other teams respond to this, but seemed to say, hey, what can we do to free up some guys to use their speed? And I thought he did a great job, especially in the first half, forcing the Minnesota Vikings offensive line into a lot of things they were not prepared for. You've heard me talk about it a lot, that Levi, I think, is, if he's not the fastest defensive tackle in the league, he's in like the top 5 or top 3, whatever you want to say. So what he do, Aaron Glenn, if you go back and watch the tape, he put a lot of Zadarius Smith and Levi, stunts and pulls out there, or basically one was helping free up the other. And just because of that speed, you could see the Minnesota line, which is not a bad offensive line, struggle with it. And that did, like when Zadarius got his sack, it was actually Levi that originally got freed up and got to Darnold, but he couldn't finish it. And then thankfully Zadarius Smith was able to. All right, gone on too long with that one. Sorry about that. Moonscar, good morning, Duke Crew starting lineup, exclamation point, Super Bowl, Superdome, let's go, 100%. We're all getting in the Dew wagon and heading on down for the game. Let's see, Rob, greetings and salutations, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. The Lions are 15-2, number one seed, are the grooviest, Daddy-O. Good morning to you too, as always, my friend. Jess Lattimore, man, I feel like I haven't seen you in a hot minute. Zettler and TA don't sound like long-term injuries. That's a woo! Ha and hey, Coach Dan, nice win last night. Watch the highlights. Thanks for that, man. Yeah, one heck of a game for us last night. Beat the number one team in the state in their division, and that's no small achievement. As far as Zettler, I know we talked about it during the live cast. It looked like he tweaked his hamstring. Could have been a cramp or something. Who knows? But I don't suspect that he'll be out very long. So my guess is he'll be back for the playoff game. TA, yeah, that was the big thing, right? Everybody was worried about him. I know there were some of us saying in the comment section, could it be Achilles or whatever? I thought it looked like, ligaments got pulled or whatever. I didn't think it was a severe injury. Glad that it sounds like it's not going to be. My anticipation is he's probably in a walking boot all week, just to try to restrict mobility to it or any kind of issues with it. And from there, we'll just see how he recovers the following week. We'll get updates probably almost daily on him. Jeff, one game at a time, Duke Crew. I'm not normally up to watch the lives, but I'm sick as heck. So watching from the bed and near the bathroom. Well, hopefully you're doing okay, man. I know we had one of our starters out last night because same situation, sick as heck. And then right before I went on air, another kid messaged me and said they weren't going to school today because they're sick. So I think we all get it. It's going around. I know I had it about a month and a half ago, and every time I go to the gym, I swear I see 2 or 3 people that are about ready to fall over or run to the bathroom because, the flu, the crud or whatever, it's going around, man. Hopefully you're doing okay. Stay hydrated. Let's see. Rob Kendall, be groovy and hit that woo button, exclamation point, for Coach Dan the man. Thank you for that, Rob. Thank you very much for that. Ding and Jeff, hope you're feeling better. 1,000%. Lions Talk Live fans, some people fake it, some strive for it, and some like DC are made of it. Ooh, I like that. That was a good one. I might have to steal that one. Detroit D, good morning, everyone. Back at you, my friend. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal start to your day. Jeff, thanks. Just can't keep anything down right now. Yeah, you probably had what I had a couple months ago. Hey, great way to lose some weight, though. Jen should bottle that and turn it into a pill. Trey, what's up, Duke Crew? Exclamation point. Dang, it feels nice to not have to do anything other than kick back this weekend and heal up. Yeah, I'm going to imagine all weekend long, most of us are probably going to be sitting around, even though our team's not playing, and say, man, do we want to play that team? Do we want to play that team? The only team I really don't want to play is just Stafford and the Rams. And it's not that I don't think we can beat them. I'm just so over the media stuff, LA versus Detroit, the Detroit Rams, Goff, McVay, Stafford, MCDC, all that stuff. We might ultimately get that game. I just hope we get a different game. Rob, I was there a few months ago. Yeah, it sounds like it's been going around for a minute, man. So hopefully you're all healed up. Tori, good morning, Duke Crew. I want the Bucs in our next game. Any thoughts regarding who our best matchup would be? Not really, man. It's so hard to say right now because if you made it to the playoffs, let alone the second round of the playoffs, you obviously have strengths. You've got something that your team is hanging its head on or whatever. You've got a defense. You got an offense. You probably have a pretty good quarterback. It's going to be hard to confuse things. I would say if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, I don't know if the Rams can replicate what Detroit did, just because Detroit does play a ton of person or man-to-man defense. We all get it. I know a lot of times we hate it. A lot of times we love it. But that also meant the Vikings came in clearly preparing for that. And they were not prepared for some of the rapid changes the Lions secondary, and to be fair, the linebackers did too. Anzalone made a big impact. There's no question about that. They were able to stop the run better than they had the last few weeks too. They forced Darnold into a lot of pressure. I think there's a good chance the Rams win that game, which obviously knocks Minnesota out of the playoffs. As far as the biggest upset alert, I don't know. I could see Washington beating the Bucs, but who's going to be the best matchup for Detroit? I don't know. I'll defer to your guys' wisdom. Marcus, good morning. Dan and the Scooby-Doo crew, exclamation point, or maybe it's the Super Doo crew. I don't know, either one. Remember, pressure makes diamonds. We've been under pressure all season, exclamation point. Woo! No, you're not wrong, man. From just a developmental standpoint, I think you're spot on. This team has been put through it, and I think they're getting better and better. All right, Detroit D, I don't think Ben leaves this year. We are building something really special, a dynasty, 100%. I could see probably more with Ben Johnson than Aaron Glenn. Maybe if one of them doesn't leave, I could see it being Ben Johnson. I do think they're both going to get offers, though. Lance, man, talk about somebody I haven't seen in a minute. I hope you are right about that, Detroit D. Keep the band together, 100%, 100%. Bo Duke Crew is all over the place these days. Amazing how many other teams fans know us. Hey, the Duke Crew, we need to get some shirts and gear or something. I don't know. Celebrate being a Duke Crewer. Lions Talk Life fan, I say give them both a huge raise and keep them. Yeah, I know that's been thrown out there from a lot of people, but it could be a completely unique situation in Detroit. But usually, if you're a head coach, you're going to make a ton more than a coordinator. Not always, I guess, but if any of them get head coaching jobs, they're probably getting 7 to 10, maybe 12 million a year nowadays. I'll let that sink in. As a coordinator, you might get 3 or 4 million a year. So you're probably going to get double what you're making as a coordinator. Who knows, though? Maybe Shiloh just says, I'm all in. Detroit D, 11-1 in 2 years in our division. That's the stuff champions are made of. You're not wrong there. We have owned the NFC North. Marcus, Coach Dan, do you think the Lions will consider Robert Saleh as a replacement for defense coordinator for Aaron Glenn or promote from within? Based on how MCDC's wired, and what he did with Ben Johnson, I think it'd be an internal candidate, somebody I already knows. I mean, we know with any draft picks, they'd rather re-sign their own than bring in somebody new. I think they will apply that to the coaching ranks too for the coordinator positions, offense and defense coordinator. I could be completely wrong though. Flathead Frank, 5 largest blowouts, 1. Lions 52, Jags 6, Lions 52, Titans 14, Eagles 41. Eagles 41, Cowboys 7, Ravens 31, Texans 2, Lions 47, Cowboys 9. Woo! I'll go with that. And thanks for that, Flathead Frank. Susan, what do you got? Good morning, Duke Crew family. I think Ben and Aaron want to be head coaches. That's our issue with keeping them. I agree with that. I agree. Detroit D, I agree. Lions Talk Live fan. The Non-Laughers, good morning, Duke Crew. Good morning, Dan. Hopefully this bye week pays dividends. Get some of our dudes back and keep the eyes on the prize. One pride, 100%. Yeah, get healthy, get right, get them on the field. Papa Noel, best of mornings to you all. Same to you. Flathead, I think Aaron Glenn will get the Saints job. 2025-26 third-round picks coming for a minority hire. Woo! If he gets a job that way, I guess that would be the bonus for the Lions getting those picks. So I'll take it. I hope he does get hired. I think he's earned it. Drake, yo, coach. First, congrats on the big win last night. Thank you for that. Second, what is going on with Mosley? You seem to have a thought. Well, I do, but hey, if the Lions divulge it at some point, I'll let them go through with it. Detroit D, I feel like the offense is going to take it to another level. I like the way you're thinking. Goff will play at an elite level and win the Super Bowl MVP. I like it. I like it indeed. Hey, man, if he gets a Super Bowl MVP, that means we won the Super Bowl. So I'm down with it. Flathead Frank, what up, Duke Crew? East Side. Woo! Go Lions. Back at you, Tank. Bo, get your special teams A off the field. All right, we'll do just that. So small. Detroit D, dude, I think you're so beyond right. We will be at home, rested up, and I just don't see any defense we could face first that's slowing us down. I think somebody's really going to have to catch us off guard to slow down this offense. The Minnesota Vikings probably did as good a job as you're going to be able to find because they create so much confusion. And sort of like we were talking about, our defense did to Darnold. We'll see if somebody can replicate that. I do think the Minnesota Vikings might not make it out of this round. I would say there's a 60% chance. Frank the Tank, what up, Bo? This team is so much better than the team in the 90s. Bro, go Lions. I think you could be spot on with that. Voltron Force, we are the team of destiny this year. I like it indeed. Hookadoo, good morning, Dude Crew. Oh, yeah, back at you, Hookadoo. Marcus, hit that like and subscribe buttons, exclamation point. Woo! And thank you for that, Marcus. Pat, I've got a question for everyone. Is CD3 not coming back because Robinson is playing so well or because his contract is done after the season? My guess is it's just, if he doesn't come back, it's probably because he hasn't been able to eat solid food in so long. They just don't want him risking getting injured again in a different manner. David, unsung hero of Sunday, Levi, rewatched the game and he played great. He did. And good eyes there picking up. I thought they used him in a lot of unique ways that they hadn't prior and really played to his strengths. Dennis, good morning. Dan and Duke, back at you. Good to see you as always, Dennis. Trey, Levi is trending upwards. I hope we resign him. That'll be one of the big questions in the offseason. I see Stephanie's question too. Can we keep him and Iffy? Being able to resign those two, that would be huge for the defense. Can you do that? I don't know, because other teams are going to be coming after him for sure. Man Bear, good morning. Dan Ronnie Pond, the left-hand side to the Scooby-Doo crew. I'll go with all of the above. Good to see you, Man Bear, as always. Detroit D, I would like to see Brad bring in a vet corner just in case someone else goes down. So thought E-Man was going to be that guy. Yeah, I thought so too, but unfortunately, he seems to be facing some situations. Boonscar Blade, Rob Kendall and Rob Kendall Music. What's up with that? Hey, I guess he's got a music channel. Lions Talk Live fan, CD3 is signed until 2026. Maybe. For some reason, I thought his contract ended after this season, but maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, might be wrong with that. Rob Postcard going to give 2 likes to Lions Talk Live. You can use 2 accounts to not be annoying. Hey, thanks for that, Rob. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Henry Moore, glory is within our reach! Exclamation point. Let God carry us to the ultimate victory. I'll take that all day. See, Jerome, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Have a good one. Same to you, my friend. Hope all is well. And always good to see you, Jerome. Moonscar Blade, thumbs up. Maybe you were being faked. Let's hope not. Let's hope not indeed. Henry Moore, gosh, I cracked me up. Hey, nothing wrong with that. And sometimes you got to laugh, right? Troy D, I thought CD3 was on a 1-year deal. That's what I thought, that his contract ended after the season, but I could be wrong with that. Answer 14, greetings, salutations, Coach of Duke crew. Does anyone know what the problem is with Mosley? Question mark. Has he just lost it? Who knows, man? Who knows indeed? Bo Booth, congratulations to your Red Wolves coach. Thank you. That was a massive win last night. Detroit D, good morning, Coach Dan. Back at you. Hopefully you're having a good one, D. Good to see you as always. Brother Ken, our Lions don't feel pressure. They apply pressure. I like the way you're thinking there. Yes, they are. Make them pop. Rob Munskar, no worries. Thanks for having my back. Hey, good move by him. Southwest, cool. Made it with our Lions fan feet up. Yeah, 100%. Kick back this weekend and see who we get to play next. Mike K, woo! Back at you. Brother Ken, Duke crew. Let's let Mosley go. It's a very sensitive subject that Dan can't go into. Yeah, I'm not touching that one, man. Bo, is that you, Mr. Kimber? Excuse me. My throat's pretty shot after last night. Mike K. No, I think Mike K. and Mike Kimber are different people, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is the same person. Southwest, woo, whooping, woo, Duke crew, all the above, my friend. A Lions Talk Live fan, 2 years with a clause. Lions can let him go if they wish at the end of the year. Okay, thanks for that, Lions Talk Live fan. Yeah, maybe I was not aware of that. Silver Server. Good morning, Coach, and everyone. Back at you. Mike K., we're hitting. Yes, we probably will be. James, Coach, question for you. As far as head coach interviews publicly, we know the rules. Are there such waiting restrictions for front office roles? For the front office, no, there isn't. You can be interviewed basically at any time. I think you just got the team interviewing still has to fill out the forms to request it, to inform the other team of the wanting to interview somebody. But that's, as far as I'm aware, that's it. Dennis Micro Mike, could be. Phil, good morning. Back at you, Phil. Nice new guitar on the thumbnail. Rob, morning, Phil. James, rumors are Agnew and a couple of other guys could be poached to go to other organizations. Yeah, I think it's unavoidable. You're going to see some front office people for the Lions, sort of like you did last year and the year before, get snatched up by the guys. But, good for them. That means we're doing something right. We're hiring the right people, and other teams want to replicate what we have. Tailor-made media, cleanup drills make sense. Muscles, remember, you are correct with that, sir. Good to see you as always, my friend. Phil, Rob, Keith, woo! Greetings, salutations, Coach Dan, back at you. Denna, Detroit D, hit that like button. Yes, if you guys can, hit all the buttons. The like, subscribe, all of them. Trump's New York's slime propaganda, okay. Miles Mark, greetings, salutations. Ben Johnson is my nephew. Seriously, just not the same guy as Lions coach. Hey, how about that? Dennis laughing. Brother Ken, MSG to the both coordinators. Strike while the iron is hot. We hate to lose you guys, but go. Yeah, you get the opportunity as a coach, man. I would say take advantage of it. You just never know when the next opportunity will come, if there will be a next opportunity. Gary, good morning, everyone. I hope the coaches stay. Let's go Lions. I think we all do, Gary, and I think you've got the same viewpoint we all do on that. Coach Rack, good morning to the who would have known MCDC could put a chalkboard talk for another team to use against a team that's not ours. Yeah, that could be true. Yeah, could 100% true. Yeah, we'll see in 2 weeks. 100%. Trumps, if we lose both coordinators, what do we get compensated? And one, I don't think you get anything. For Aaron Glenn. Excuse me, not Aaron Glenn, but Ben Johnson. Aaron Glenn, you would because of the rules pertaining to hires. Brian, our safeties give us a big advantage in disguising coverages. You're spot on with that, Brian. They're so versatile, especially Iffy and Brian Branch. Not that Kirby isn't. It's just Kirby's strengths maybe are very suited for a couple different things, although his man-to-man coverage has definitely improved this year. Rob, I think the Vikings will lose. Teams still lose or struggle after they play the Lions, and last time they lost to the Rams after we beat them. I think it's more likely we play the Commanders next, I hope. Yeah, I mean, I think we all get it. The Lions play very physical on both sides of the ball. You heard the Vikings receivers, tight ends, etc., complaining about how physical the Lions were. I didn't really see anything that, I always try to be as neutral as I can be. If we create a PI, if we hold or whatever, I'm going to call it out. But I just didn't see that the vast majority of the time. I think the Lions were more in the head of the Vikings players because we were jamming, we were pressing, we were bumping within 5 yards. It doesn't mean we couldn't be flagged at all. We did get some flags, but yeah, I think that's going to carry over, like you're saying, Rob, to the next game. Robert, in-house, who will be coordinators next year? We'll find out in the offseason if we lose some guys. Brother Ken, Trump's the genius. Brad Holmes and MCDC, no coaching. They'll get someone. Yeah, 100%. They're going to make some good hires. Trump's, I was meaning, do we get any draft picks? If Aaron Glenn is hired, I think we get a third-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. Keith, Super Bowl bound and loving it, slowing myself down and enjoying it, as you should. We all should. Enjoy this ride. You just never know when it happens again. Patiently waiting for us, the Lions, to win it all. Woo! I'll go with that. And yes, good to see you, my friend, this morning. Brother Ken, Trump's genius, good question. Robert, if AG gets a job, I believe Detroit will get a extra third-round pick. I think that's right. Max 77, why? Just because the rules for hiring minority coaches. Matt, CD3 is definitely not coming back, and it's not realistic to think he will be given the nature of the injury and recovery process. Yeah, again, because he's having to eat out of a straw for about a month and a half. Yeah, you're probably spot on with that, Matt. Robert, minor coaching incentives, correct. Mike K, oh yeah. I'll go with that. Rob, people thought Patrick Kane's career was over after the hips surgery. He scored the game winner last night. Congrats to him and to the team. Rob, I don't think we bring back CD3 back. Stick Amik back there and draft another slot cornerback or use Rakestraw. CD3 just stays injured too much. Unfortunately for him, you're probably spot on, Rob. The last few years in his career, he's been fairly injury prone. Matt, Barnes won't be coming back either. It's better to be realistic with expectations than hope we be let down. My question is, you've got his contract and you got Rodrigo. I think his contract ends after this season. Maybe I'm wrong with Rodrigo. But if it was me, and not that they're asking, but I would probably go with Rodrigo over Derek Barnes. I like Derek Barnes. I think Rodrigo, when you see him on the field, his ability to get sideline to sideline more easily, I like, this is just me talking. I'm not saying what the Lions should do. I like that more out of my third linebacker than I do what Barnes brings. I just think Anzalone and Jack Campbell do basically the same stuff Derek Barnes does. Rob, greetings. Back at you, Rob. Hopefully it's a good one. Rob Queen. Okay. Yeah, Queen. Thank you. Let's see. King, golf for MVP. He might just get it. Matt, Queen with David Bowie. Thank you, guys. Sorry, it's a rough morning. Yeah, Rock, coach, good news is the other half, other playoff coaches are feeling the pressure too. Yeah, everybody does, man. They all get it. You for everybody else across the NFL, you lose this weekend, your season's over. So 100% right there, Rock. David, good morning, Dan and Duke Crew from Chesapeake, Virginia. Hopefully it's fairly warm down there, although I think you guys are getting the winter storm, aren't you? Matt, 77, where would Ben Johnson realistically go to? If I'm him, I'm probably looking at Jacksonville. That would probably be my top, priority. You've got a fairly young quarterback. you've got a winnable division, or a lot more winnable than, say, the NFC North. Rob, New England could be New England too. But again, I am black and I don't give a rat's bahootie about demographics. If a white guy is a quality coordinator, sign him. 100%. You know what teams do? We'll have to wait and see where they go. I just think for Aaron Glenn, I think he's good enough to where teams really should hire him. And then he listened to how MCDC speaks eloquently about him. I hope he gets his shot. Yeah, I think the only thing that really hurts Aaron Glenn is, unfortunately, there's still the perception that offensive minded coaches are more hot than defensive minded coaches. Although with that being said, some of that is starting to change in the league. I think you're starting to see some level of people going back to defensive coaches, running backs being drafted, stuff like that. And some of that's probably a credit to the Detroit Lions. Rob, we fully expect at least getting to the Super Bowl, if not winning it. Let's do both. Let's get there and win it. Vernon, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Coach, do you think AG will interview for the Dallas Cowboys job? It's possible. I know, is it his family and he himself from Texas? I want to say that's right. So it might not be a bad place for him. Although I don't know if I'd want to deal with that that owner and general manager. Again, greetings, salutations, Dan Duker. Congrats on the win, Coach. Save your voice. Here's this skipper. Woo! And thank you for that. Dimitri, Dan, what up, though? What up, Dimitri? How you doing, my friend? Hopefully it is a phenomenal start to your day, and we're getting a little feedback here on the – let me see if I can free up a little space here because I see it's slowing down a little bit in the comment section. Getting a little lag, basically. All right, maybe that helps. All right, let's see, Robert. AG to Chicago makes more sense. Okay. Hardy, what do you got? MCDC was one, tired about the injury questions. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. 2, doesn't want his current players to think help is coming, and he is depending on them. Yeah, the injured players. 3, he doesn't want to pressure them to come back early. Correct. I think you're spot on with all of that, Hardy. Dimitri, Dan, no pressure, bro. No pressure at all. Just win, baby. Rocky, we play whoever shows up at Ford Field, and we'll be ready to defend the den. I like the way you're thinking, Rock. Hardy, Lions have to, 1, win their home games, and 2, win the rest of their indoor games. I'll go with that. Yeah, the good thing that all the home games are indoor. Matt, I see us playing Washington in the divisional and going to be an offensive shootout. Might just be. Let's see, Rob, no quit, grit. I like it. I like it indeed. Robert, treat it like any other bye week. 100%. Keep it as familiar as possible. Rob, you can go light and rest, simply running through while still doing the film to keep your mind at it. Yeah, there you go. Matt, Daniels will definitely have our defense in bend but do not break mode. I think you're right. Vern, Coach, I think Kirby plays like a Merton Hanks. That's a good call back to the old 49ers safety. Jason, priorities, rest and build on last week's defensive win. A Super Bowl win is the absolute expectation. Superdome or bust. I'll go with that, Jason. I think you're right. Robert, cornerback room has its own grit. You might be correct. Rob, Washington has the most likely upset will play. Minnesota is favored, but the reseeding makes Washington more likely. Green Bay is one and done. Yeah, if Green Bay pulls off that upset, I mean, that would be massive. Now, I don't know the full quarterback situation or status in Philly. That could be a game changer. Man, I'm definitely concerned with our cornerback since CD3 will not be back at all. Vildor won't cut it. We'll get lit up with him. You're going to have to ride him and support him if he's out there because apparently there will be nobody else to go out there. Rocky, I would work on Zone D. Although they did a good job against Minnesota, just to show this and change to something else on D. Yeah, I thought they played a lot more zone the last few weeks, especially in the red zone last weekend or Sunday against Minnesota. They mixed it up, I thought, pretty well and had Darnold a little confused. That plus all the hits on Darnold didn't hurt. Southwest Line, good morning, all. Look, it's tough to win a Super Bowl, correct? Even with the injuries, Lions team is better than last year's Lions team. It's all about playing your best ball when it means the most. I like the way you're thinking. C Notes 313, number 1 seed. Now we can rest our starters. They earned it. Yes, indeed. Rest them up. Hey, tell them all they don't have to play this weekend. Rob, great salutations, Coach and Duke Crew. Knowing the Lions have a little bit of extra time, could the Lions bring in someone and get them ready for next weekend, a.k.a. Peterson or Nakua? It's possible, Gary, 100%. I'm not sure if they're going to. Like, I know people have been asking if Calais Campbell gets cut, could you bring him in? Could you? Yes. Do I think the team will? Probably not. Just, I think at this point, you're going to ride with the guys you got. But I could be wrong. They could bring him in. Bo Anzalone took TJ out, and Captain Jack Campbell was dodging all game. Darnold didn't know what was up. No, I thought we had him pretty confused. Yeah, good call on that, Bo. Vernon, Coach, who do you think is the dark horse that can sneak up on some teams? In the NFC, I think it's Washington. I think they've got all the parts. They're a younger team. Could they beat the Bucs? Absolutely. I think they could beat the Bucs. I think they do a lot of things nice on defense and offense. It's really going to come down to probably just one or two situations. They take advantage of that, they can beat the Bucs. That's my opinion. Blind Time, what do you got? What do you think of Nowoski? I like the kid. I think he needs more development, but the athleticism is all there. I think right now he's a good rotational piece that definitely helps out on special teams. Shive, what do you got? Can 17-2 games record teams regular postseason mean in New Orleans? Thanks. Could 2 teams with 17 wins meet New Orleans? Yeah, totally could. Chris, good morning from the Dominican Republic. There is a lot of Lions chatter on the beach. Hey, nothing wrong with that, Chris. And man, rough life you live living at the beach, watching Lions talk live. Nothing wrong with that at all. Man, I want that life. Southwest Line, there were instances where Lions D were getting pressure without the blitz. Correct. I think you're spot on. They just need to keep mixing up, make that quarterback uncomfortable. I agree. Couldn't agree more fully if I tried. T-Bone Lokes, I like beating Stafford. Well, you might get your wish. Phil, if the ocean was due and I was a duck, I'd swim to the bottom bad drink my way up. There you go. Hey, I'm going to be drinking some dew today for sure to celebrate yesterday. Southwest Line, if they play Minnesota again, we can we please stop the quick horizontal throws behind the line of scrimmage? They don't work. No, I think you're right with that, Southwest. That would be one of the things I'd look to clean up. I think Ben Johnson, when he runs his, gadget stuff beyond the line of scrimmage, it's a lot more successful. You guys have probably heard me talk about it many times, so I won't dive into it. William, do we play whoever is the lowest seed? Correct. We'll play the lowest remaining seed. That's the rite of passage for the number 1 seed. Southwest, the more they try to avoid playing a certain team, the more likely we're going to end up playing that team. You might be spot on. Any team in the playoffs can beat any other team on any given Sunday. You're well said. Rock, Ben, and Aaron should take a good look around the league. Head coaches come and go fast. They do. But you know what? Most assistants want to basically become head coaches. We'll see what shakes out. Flat, Zadarius Smith had some really nice explosion and accelerations once he broke free. He closed the distance like Flash Gordon. There you go. Woo! I'll go with that. My time. What is your opinion on Nowoski? I like the kid. I think he needs a lot more development. I don't think he really has a firm linebacker spot he excels in. I don't think he's a Mike. I don't think he's Sam. I don't think he's a Wee. So he can play all three. He just doesn't excel at any one of them, in my opinion. Southwest Line, William Daniels, yes, Lions play lower seeds. Correct. Phil, AG is ready to be head coach. Ben is not a head coach. Fair enough. Southwest, AG is definitely ready. He will get an offer somewhere. I think you're right. I think he does. Flathead Frank Vildor got us to an NFC championship game. Is he terrific? Question mark. No, but quit ragging on him. I'm down with that. Bo, agreed. Frank, there you go. Max 77, not so sure on AG. We'll find out. Southwest, the pass coverage is only as good as the pressure Lions get on the quarterback. Yeah, you're going to have to replicate pressure no matter who he play. I don't think you let him just sit back and throw. The William Green Sanitation Duke crew, I can see AJ going back to the Saints as head coach. Yeah, and, again, if I'm right that most of his family's from Texas, Louisiana, Texas, not that far apart. Southwest Line, Goff really made some good throws while getting hit. That 4th down throw to J-Mo comes to mind as an example. Yeah, the crossing pattern on 4th and 5. Yeah, good call on that. Great call. Shiv, what do you got? Can a 17 and 2 directed teams meet New Orleans? Thank you. Yes, they could. Because I want to say we've got 15 wins, so we win 2, we'd have 17 wins. I want to say the Chiefs also have 15 wins currently. Flathead Frank in Michigan, DC, Wink Martindale would be interested. I would interview him. Woo! He's got NFL experience. Whether or not the Lions go that route, I don't know. Blind Tom, what is your opinion on Nowoski? I think we've answered that one, man. We got some repeat questions here. Trump's nobody wants to reveal Mosley's issue. I'm betting it's a mental problem. I'm not touching it. I'm not going there. Bo Henry, I get it. Jim Carrey getting to be God for a day. Hey, nothing wrong with that. A stoner's perspective, a broken jaw is no joke. I had a manually move my chin up and down for a few weeks after the wires came out. Oof, yeah. Yeah, maybe that's why they're ruling him out. So good call on that. Good call. Eddie's Fish, I would like to see the Lions go after Ward, Tyreek Hill, compliment J-Mo on the outside. Can you imagine that? Tyreek Hill in this offense? Wow. So I like Nowaski. Good rotational guy, good speed, good athlete. Yeah, I'm down with that. Bo, I don't see Ty Hill going having grit, not an MCDC type. Yeah, could be. Flathead Frank, remember last offseason, free agent market for safeties was really weak. It was, and I don't doubt somebody's going to try to get Iffy as long as they feel like he's not going to be injury prone, which unfortunately for him, he has been. Sarge, good morning, Dan and all. Exclamation point. Good to see you, Sarge. Let's call our D pressure wreckers. Oh yeah, I'll go with that. Southwest Dan. I'm wondering if Ben Johnson will take the Jacksonville interview and let the owner know that he would be interested, but they would need to get rid of Valley. It could be. Yeah, that I don't know. Trump, okay, we'll go with that. Blind Tom, what is your yeah, I've gotten that one. Let's see. Brian, from what you're saying, Mosley needs family time. That sounds like retirement decisions. Hollywood fires, prayers. Yeah, hey, I just wish him well. How about that? Trump's nothing should be decided, but okay, well, we'll go with there. Let's see, the Trim Reaper. Have a great day, coach and crew. Woo! Go Lions. Oh, yeah. Back at you, Trim. Hopefully it's a phenomenal day, my friend. Let's see, Southwest. The Rooney Rule needs to be eliminated. It's a farce. AG likely to get an offer, and it's not because of the Rooney Rule. Yeah, I just think AG is a good coach. I think he's great at what he does. Here's what I can tell you. I've talked to a lot of coaches over the decades of me coaching. Everybody says, man, what do you got to do to work on to become a head coach? You got to become a head coach. We can all say this about coordinators or whatever else. It's nothing like being the head coach. You are going to fall on your face. You're going to make mistakes, all that stuff. There is such a monumental change from a positional coach to a head coach, from assistant coach to a head coach in whatever sport. The only way to get ready for it, really, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, is to be a head coach. And then every year you are a head coach, you're going to have more and more information and be more familiar with the situation. You look at MCDC. I mean, if you watch this show for a couple years, I used to say this all the time about him, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn. They're terrible from certain perspectives. You can tell they're learning on the job because they haven't had these roles before. But you know what? They got better with every year. Now I'd say we'd all agree they're fairly competent at their jobs, but you've got to go through that learning opportunity. That's why I would probably not be a great general manager again, because I tend to want to hire veterans who have gone through it. I don't want somebody learning on the job, not when my career is on the line, but I do hope for AG and Ben Johnson, they both get the opportunity, just like MCDC got the opportunity. The only way for them to learn the right and wrongs and the difference is to go out there and get it. Vern, James Gully, did you play basketball for Lamar? We'll find out. Let's see, famous RW. We get 4 picks if we lose Agnew and Glenn. Okay. Brian, Red Wings winner of 5 in a row. New coach, new team. Loving it. Hey, glad they made the switch then. Phil, Trump's a genius. No politics, please. Yes, correct with that. Nothing about that. Southwest, the man played all season. CD3 has a good run with us. He did, man. And it'll be a big question in the offseason. If I'm right that his contract's done, do you resign him? Although I don't remember who said it earlier, but somebody, I think they may have the option to pick him up for one more year. No politics about it, Phil. Okay. Let's see, Southwest. Brian, I really like the Red Wings' new coach, Todd McCullough. I think all Michigan teams are benefiting positively from the Lions' success. It's rubbing off on them. Yeah, you could see people are different sports in outside of Michigan, too, replicating the Lions' way, I guess you could call it. Roger, go Lions from Traverse City. Hopefully you're having a good day out there. Let's see. Phil, Diddle Roger, Traverse City here, too. Yeah, I think we got a couple people up that way. Arthur, good morning. Just want to highlight Sewell. It's insane how many times he's pushed someone for a TD or first down. Unreal. Yeah, that kid is so powerful. Man, we really struck gold getting him. The fact he fell to us. Brian, Southwest Lion, go Lions, Red Wings, Pistons. Next year, Tigers. Yeah, it's been a great time. 100% time for Detroit sports. Boss Up Ball Podcast. What up, Dude Crew? Sorry I'm late. I have technical issues uploading today's show. It's fine now. Okay, good to hear, Man of Steel. Southwest Brian Brady, what do you got? This is a real good one. I have seen all 4 Detroit teams perform in a long time. Yeah, they're on a hot streak right now. Eddie's Fish from Eddie. It is cold down here in Hampton, Virginia. Chesapeake through put the 757 area with Tyreek Hill. We would be a great deep passing attack. Man, there would be so much speed on that field. Southwest, anybody else think head coach is all that until your first season stinks, and then you get fired like what just happened in New England and with Mayo? Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what all happened there, why he got fired so quickly, but you're hired as a coach, you're hired to be fired. I heard that from Bob Donewald Sr. when I was first hired. Gosh, was it like my 3rd year coaching? I got hired as a assistant men's basketball coach at Western Michigan University, and I remember getting to know him pretty good over the years. And one of the first life lessons he taught me was like, you take a job professionally or in the college ranks, understand this. Your contract can say one thing. You can be 29 years contract, but you're hired to be fired. If you're not doing something right, you don't ever get too attached to an area because they can fire you at any time. One guy, they might be great coaches as OCS and DCs, but being a head coach is something totally different. 100% with that. They might just want to stay where they are. They might. We'll see. Southwest, then you're out of a job. Correct? Let's see. Kurt Steele, sorry, wrong. No worries. We got your back, man. Miles Marker, Wings going to turn it around. They might. Miles Marker laughing out loud. Kurt Steele laughing. Marcus, would love to see Washington and a rookie quarterback. You and me both, my friend. All right, got to hurry up here and kind of going in overtime here. Robert, thanks, Dan. Rest the voice. I'm close to the finish line here. Shiv, irony of Vikings schedule. I had to meet Lions and Rams. Yeah, you're not wrong there in both regular season, postseason. Yeah, talk about just history repeating itself. Kurt Steele, we talked about similar topics with a different twist this morning. Okay. Thomas, a huge key to next week, health of Terrion. I agree with that. A big time. Brian, Wings definitely going to turn it around. Saw a huge difference the first game with new coach. He may go on to win the coach of the year if we can put something awesome off and make the playoffs. Lots of season left. Correct. Kurt Steele, Thomas, Terrion will be good to go according to MCDC. Correct. Thomas, Glenn, finally, exclamation point, did to Minnesota what us fans have been saying for months, attack. Correct. Thomas, great. Thanks, C-Man. Phil, no beaches on the Zoo River. We're going to have to find some good beaches there. Brian, I called Washington versus Detroit back in October, just like the 90s. Detroit wins 34-24. I'll take it. Just win, baby. Kurt Steele, Brian, revenge tour continues. Correct. Vernon, if we win the Super Bowl, do James Houston get a ring? Man, I'll have to look into that. I think yes, but I'd have to confirm that. Michael, New Orleans going to hire Joe Brady. Maybe. Thomas, think you were AG or Ben, why would you leave? You make more cash to stay in a perfect situation. That and a chance to increase your career, improve your career. Let's see, Kurt Steele, Vern Hamp, no. Flathead, I'd be surprised the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. Woo! We'll see what happens. Thomas, if Cheetah is a loser, it won't fit here in Motown. Correct? Kurt Steele, see you guys at 8. We'll get you there quickly. Dimitri, Kurt Steele, what's good, Flintstone? Brian, Kurt Steele, I have to come check out your show today. Go check them out. Bo, Sheila gave MCDC time. Yes, she did. Because remember, there was a point. Fans wanted him fired. That's why we are here. They're correct. Thomas, perfect Detroit situation. If I'm in a coordinator or a coach, would it be go to a better team than where you're at right now? Question mark. If you don't have a Sheila Hamp, a Chris and Brand, you're looking for work in 2028. That could be true. Milesmeyer, Hill's not a Lions type. He's a prom and doesn't care. Okay. Eddie's Fish, I meant to say thoughts on 757 area. All right. Milesmeyer, 15-2, North Champs, number 1 seed. Yes, we are. Tyreek, there's more than one reason why the Chiefs dumped him. That might be true, Thomas. Social work, what do you got? Love from the Zoo. Who doesn't love Kalamazoo? Thank you for your work in informing us. Anytime, man. I enjoy it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Moonscar, I read Kraft fired Mayo because Mayo wasn't ready to be a head coach yet. Too young. What could be true. Moonscar, Kraft took responsibility for the hire and put him in a bad situation. All right. Flad Frank, right, Arthur Sewell pushes Gibbs into the on a run to the left. How did he do that? Woo! He's just that strong and lower leg strength. Well, good morning, Coach Dan and the new crew. Woo! All right, guys, I'll go ahead and get you out of here. My voice is about shot. If there is breaking news later today, I'll get over to you as quick as possible. Otherwise, if you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button, hit the button for the button. And you guys take care. Have a great day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. See you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? How Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?